If it hurts, James breaks, we'll get you, don't let us put on more steam. Protect our kickers, our quarterback, our lead, our ball game. All obstacles, block, cut, sides, through the game, after this win it. Press you again, here for the first minute. Carry by, keep it there 6 minutes.
Rocky Top, you'll always be. Doesn't have to be perfect, ain't gonna be perfect. We go compete for 60 freaking minutes. All right, enjoy the opportunity, enjoy the environment, and then go play our butts off, play for one another, and have a hell of a lot of fun. Everybody got me? Yes, all right.
99% of the people in this world want to be great. Would you agree with that? Yeah, they're called wannabes. 1% work to be great. Drop the mic on that.
Man, I mean, these last 3 years have been like instrumental in my development as a young man and maturity, but I found home here and you know, made a lot of great relationships. Really have enjoyed my time around my teammates and coaches, and it's created like a second home for me. And really, this is like my first home. So like, I'm a kid from Southern California, and now whenever someone's like, "When you going home?" I'll be talking about going back to Knoxville, and man, it's a very special place to me. All the emotions haven't really settled in yet.
How would you describe to someone outside what this program was like when you arrived and what it's like now as you leave and play your final home game on Saturday?
I would say when coming to this program, this was a program that when I chose Tennessee, I felt comfortable coming to Tennessee. I felt comfortable. I felt the family environment. I felt everything that I felt like to help me become a better player and become a better person here at Tennessee. Once getting here, you know, you just see in the locker room, you just don't see a lot of the family environment as you do now. And I would say that's really what changed, is just here, like now in the moment, you see a lot of family culture, a real brotherhood push, like everything is for someone else. So it's just good to see everybody striving and just wanting to see the best for the next person besides you, honestly.
Man, we blessed to do this. We blessed to wake up. We blessed to be standing by each other. We cannot take these opportunities for granted. There's people that wish they'll be doing what we was doing. There's people that call us crazy for doing what we do. But they don't understand. Every time we touch this grass, it's a certain mentality you gotta have. And you can't just turn it on. We gotta wake up with it, we gotta train it. We ought to make each other better. I need you. I need you.
Welcome. Was that a good one? Welcome, or should I say, welcome to the Talkin VAWLS Network, or should I say, what's going on, guys? Welcome to the Talkin VAWLS Network. I don't know. It depends on who you ask. Some people get really pissed if I open the show without the correct cadence or intro. Some people get pissed because I wear a hat. The guy this week told me, take your hat off, stupid, move your microphone. I was like, bro, this ain't Fox News. Like, I'm not a broadcaster, bro. I'm a YouTuber. Like, you see this background? You see this background? Welcome to the talk. Can we start over? I mean, like, okay. I'm just kidding. Welcome to the Talkin VAWLS Network. I'm Boogie Bentley. Dauber's in the house. Coach Jay is here. The X Factor is here. Coach Rice in the house. The band is back together. Everybody's here. We're taking Friday morning off. I told Coach Jay, I said, you got a lot going on. And when I say Coach Jay's got a lot going on, it means that I'm kind of lazy and it's a glorified scrimmage. So we're taking Friday morning off, but we are going to drop the game day breakdown on Friday morning. So don't you worry. We got a lot to get in tonight. College football playoff implications. Man, it's senior day. Like listening to Brew McCoy talk. Let's Coach Jay, like I'm completely going off script here. How do you feel when you hear him say, I'm a Southern California kid, but I'm calling Tennessee home? Like what do you when you hear Brew McCoy talk about Tennessee? Speculate on that.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of the way I feel about Tennessee, obviously. Southern California kid, who relates with the culture built around the football program and how special it is. At Knoxville, man, like it doesn't get lost on me every time. Shoot, this last game I was at Neyland was special. Every time I'm there, it feels special. I feel really, really, really lucky to be there. It's been a little while. I had a long break when I was there between, I want to say it was between the Cal game and the 2016 Florida game. I had a long break and I was sitting there at halftime getting our face kicked in and I was hot and annoying. And I just took a breath, man, and looked around and was like, man, this is freaking awesome, dude. I don't even care that we're down. I mean, I cared, but you know what I mean? I don't even care that we're getting our teeth kicked in right now. This environment's awesome. This whole world's awesome. And I'm so grateful to be part of this fan base and to have, recognized at a young age how special and how great it is to be a Tennessee Vol. And then, right on cue, we marched back and blasted them out in the second half and solidified everything I was feeling. So I get how Brew feels, man. And, I think the more Southern California kids you can get here in a football strong state, the more of them realize how special Tennessee football is, man.
Dauber, we got UTEP on Saturday. You know how bad they are? That when I was looking at their rushing defense, I looked up UTSA and I was like, why is it popping up 2023? Because that's how bad they are. But it's senior day. Give me a senior on this football team that stands out to you that you're going to remember as a Vol for your lifetime, and why? Like, I'm going off script here, boys. I'm sorry. I didn't prepare you for any of this nonsense.
I mean, Brew's a big one. The injury that he had, him battling back, because, it's one of those, he could have packed it in and folded it up and, played for the combine and all of that, but he's out there giving his all. And to echo a little bit on what Coach Jay was talking about there, at the Kentucky game, I met with some folks that I, went to school with and tailgated with, and they brought their cousin from New Jersey down. And Northeast isn't big for football, especially college football. They're Giants fans and Jets fans and all that. And he was completely bought in by the time he left. And that's what we've talked about so many times on this channel. We have the luxury of being here in Tennessee, but once you get bit by that big orange bug, it gets in you. And it's not necessarily about the football and about the wins and losses. It's about the people that you take in the games with. It's this community that we've got right here. Coach Jay, Coach Rice, X, I wouldn't know you guys if it weren't for this. I grew up with Boogie, and we've shared a lot of, stuff with
ups and downs, brother. Ups and downs of life, brother. That's what we've shared.
One of my, and Boogie's talking about, one of my favorite memories in Neyland was that Florida game. And, a mutual friend who's no longer with us, as big of a Vol fan as there was. You know, I've got memories with my dad. Now I'm creating memories with my kids, and that's what it is. And that's, you know, you go back and you think about all the players that have come and gone within this program, and that's what Senior Day is. You know, it's something. My son will be watching a game and talking about so and so, and then, you know, 15 years down the road, he and I will be like, oh, you remember Brew McCoy? You remember, you know, all these guys that have made their impact at the University of Tennessee, and it's those memories. That's, to me, that's what Senior Day is when you start thinking about that, and those guys that go out and, you know, they play a game and it's entertainment, but they're carrying a lot of hopes and dreams and, you know, emotions of not just everybody in the state of Tennessee, but across the country, because Vol Nation is big.
What about you, X? Favorite senior on this football team?
Well, somebody said it in the chat earlier, but I mean, he does need to have an honorable mention, but definitely Cooper Mays, man. Because listen, we've talked about it, you know, the beginning of this season, we said, man, it was so big for Cooper to announce that he's going to come back and play with Nico and this whole offense and this whole team that, you know, even going back to his brother, you know, Cade Mays, even Cade Mays, his brother, you know, was something very special as well. But to have, you know, Cooper to come back and to try to help this team get to the playoffs, try to win a national championship is very huge. And, you know, piggybacking off of what Dauber said too, that, yeah, like Senior Day is very special because you look at all the seniors that, yeah, that put their blood, sweat, and tears into this team, into this game. And then when they, you know, someone will go off to the NFL, someone won't. But that's where we all come as a fan base for Vol Nation to say, okay, this brother right here, he's a Vol for life for sure. And when we see these players, you know, give their all for Tennessee, that's what makes Senior Day very, very special. But yeah, Cooper Mays, man, he definitely will be missed for sure. And I know you guys are going to talk about recruiting going into next year, you know, like who's going to step up at the center position, because, you know, depending on how this season is going to end this year, you know, that center position is going to be a very, very key thing for Nico and this whole offense going into next season. So, but yeah, man, hats off to Cooper Mays, man. He's definitely ball for life for sure.
Yeah, I think we mentioned it Sunday night talking about Coop. Like, he's the only center that's ever ran this offense at Tennessee under Heupel. Like, he's the dude that's been there the entire time. I love this comment from Foul Ming, said these seniors should be especially proud of how they have impacted this program. You got to look, man, these seniors have been through it. That's why I love listening to Big O talk about, man, when we came in, it didn't look like this, right? Look, this is how the program has changed since Josh Heupel has arrived. What about you, Coach Rice? Who's your favorite senior? I'm sorry, man, I made you go last. Although I didn't say mine. There's a lot of seniors on this team that we can all talk about.
They all need recognized. I mean, they're all you know, have done something special for this team, getting this team where they are in the program all together. The general direction that is going. But you think about the three that, you know, that's just popping in my head that have been there since Jeremy, like we're there with Jeremy Pruitt, and saw all the things that, you know, transpired there and to get to where they are now, being Cooper, Big O, and Javontes. Like, they've been there through it all. Like, to get to recognize and to understand the culture that Coach Heupel and this team has built, and them being the leaders of it and getting this program in the direction it is. I mean, they're going to go down in history as some of the greatest balls ever, as far as just, you know, what they meant for the program, not stats wise or, you know, NFL wise, what they do going. I'm talking about the leadership and what they did for this program when it most needed it, the turnaround it had, and those three guys were at the epicenter of it all. Like, you know, you got to mention Keenan Peely, his importance he's had as far as a captain the last 2 years. Someone mentioned Will Brooks. I mean, he's the impact he's made this year, and those guys love him in that secondary. They don't trust. They trust nobody more than him, and you can see it with the culture and the impact that all these seniors have created. And Chuck, I give him as like James Pierce. This is going to be his. I guarantee you, he goes out.
He's
Saturday.
gone. Yeah,
Yeah,
he's gone.
he's gone. So the impact he's made, making guys like Joshua Josephs and Caleb Herring better, learning from them, and then using that competition because it just breeds excellence. And so couldn't paint a better picture than what these seniors left with. They started off with a jumbled mess. They finished with a masterpiece. So I love every second, all three of them.
Definitely left it better than they found it.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly. I want to mention a guy just because you talk about just a selfless teammate, and he's had his highs and lows this year, man. And that's John Campbell. And I know we pick on him.
Yeah.
That's a dude that's a redshirt senior, and he was going into that season as the starting left tackle. That's the money position. We all know that's the money position in the NFL. And he could have said, no, I'm going to be the starting left tackle. But this coaching staff, I'm assuming allegedly behind closed doors says, hey, we got an opportunity to go land Lance Hurd. He's a big-time prospect. We're going to need him for the future of this program. And John Campbell said, team is bigger than me. I'll move over to the right side, bring him in, let him play the left side. Like that's what being a teammate, that's what's being a Vol is all about. So I want to mention him too. There's so many. Y'all mentioned some great ones. There's so many great ones on this team. And again, Dauber hit the nail on the head. Leave the program better than you found it. These seniors have done exactly that. Make sure you guys smash the thumbs up. Come on in for yourself a frosty cold beverage, and we're going to hang out. We're going to talk college football playoff. We were going to watch the Josh Heupel press conference, but I called an audible at the start of the show, and that got us 20 minutes deep. So I'm sorry. We're not watching the Josh Heupel press conference now, but there is still plenty to talk about. There's going to be a big old debate tonight that's got me excited, man. It's Coach Rice brought a great talking point, and I think it's going to open up some great conversation, so much so that when I start reading and researching, I'm like, I'm going to nail Coach Rice. I don't know where I stand in this argument, so we're going to see how this plays out tonight. I think it's going to be that good. Foul Ming for 5 says, let's freaking go, GBO, all day, every day. It's all I know. It's all I know, too, Foul Ming. We appreciate you, brother. Big Trey's been a member for 27 months. I'm so tired of the blatant disrespect to our football program, the insanity that head-to-head matchups only count when Ole Miss beats Georgia is too much. Proud of where our team has risen to. We're going to talk about college football playoff rankings. We're going to look at the bracket, and then there's an article at VolQuest that's not behind a paywall. We're going to share it, and we're going to look at some of the comparisons here that Big Trey is pissed about. Matt Mars for 5 says, what's up, fellow Colt members? As painful as it will be, we're all Florida fans Saturday, even with 3 losses. Georgia and Bama will somehow get in. Ole Miss won't. We're going to look at all the options that we've got in front of us. Donald Coakley for 20. That is an Orange Boy. We love Orange Boys around here. We love all Super Chats because money is the only thing that matters. That's the only reason I'm on YouTube. You know, I didn't do this for 7 years for free. I only showed up to get paid. That's why we are here. Money means everything. So we play clips for Orange Boys.
Rocky Top, you'll always be.
Donald Coakley says we are going to the playoffs and beat Georgia then. We're going to win it all. Not according to Joel Klatt, but we will get to his comments coming up in just a minute. Thank you, Donald Coakley. Very generous Super Chat. Biggest donation of the night. We appreciate you. Appreciate all the support, whether that's through Super Chats, whether that's through memberships, or you just smash the thumbs up. You can hit that thumbs up quick, free, and easy. We greatly appreciate it. Let's get into the college football playoff rankings. And by the way, if you're looking for somewhere on Tuesday nights, where can I get this information as it breaks? You can do it right here. Allegedly, I've heard rumors that there are people that are in the shower. They are in the shower, but they tune into Talkin VAWLS live on Tuesday night so they can hear me announce the college football playoff rankings as they come out. Allegedly. I don't know. Those streams get deleted. What happens on Tuesday nights stays on Tuesday nights. But you guys can come hang out here every single Tuesday night, and we can get into it. But let's talk about the college football playoff rankings. And let me start with this. There's a lot of people that are confused. They don't understand why are we're in the top 12. We're good, boys. We're 11th. We're in. No, this is how it works. The 4 highest, this is straight from college football playoff. The 4 highest ranked conference championships will be seated one round by. The 5th conference champion will be seated where it was ranked clocking? Am I clocking? Am I back? Are we good?
Yeah, I was about to say
Yeah, I
we're
can
good.
hear you now.
Yeah,
All right.
we lost coach.
All right, let's. So did all that come through? Are we good? Or is that clear? The fifth conference champion will be seated where it was ranked, or at number 12 if it's outside the top 12. Are we clocking? Why is everything a living hell around here? Coach Rice is gone.
It's not me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
He's
There
gone
he
and then he's back. He's
There-
gone
there-
and then
there
he's
he
back.
is.
He's in the back doing this.
I'm
disappearing
trying to get
man.
your attention. I was like, I'm
Disappearing
in the
man.
backstage.
I don't know if that helps or not. I don't know if that helps.
He's
or not.
like looking at that 11th spot. It's too painful. It's just too painful.
Is it my fault? You may want to reboot. You need to reset. He muted himself. Did I mute myself? I think we're good. Let's get back into it. College football playoff rankings. The 4 highest conference champions will be seeded 1 through 4 and get a first round bye. The fifth conference champion will be seated where it was ranked or at number 12 if outside the top 12. We'll get into that in just a second. Non-conference champions ranked in the top 4 will be seated beginning at number 5. That's why you may see these rankings and then you go look at the bracket and you go, I don't understand any of this. So when you look at it, Boise State is number 4 in the bracket. Well, they're 12th in the rankings. That's because they're the Mountain West Conference champions if everything plays out the way you expect. BYU, number 12 in the bracket, but they're also outside the top 12 in the college football playoff rankings. They're 14th. But again, they're the Big 12 conference champion, so they are going to get in, and they're going to be ranked at 12th because their playoff ranking is lower. I hope that makes sense. I hope that clears up some of the confusions. Coach Jay, any thoughts on the college football playoff rankings as they came out and where Tennessee's at, or where anybody's at for that matter?
Well, I mean, my opinion or what I thought was going to happen, I guess, are two different things. What I thought was going to happen happened pretty much. I mean, I think I had every single one of these. I mean, through maybe through 15, I had right. I had it written down somewhere. I wish I would have brought it out, but I think I had every one of these down for what I thought they were going to do correctly. So, it's right where I thought Tennessee would be. And I got to be honest with you, I don't hate it. I hate it in the sense of I don't necessarily agree with it from my personal point of view, but I don't hate it looking at my concern was if they did something stupid and put Tennessee at 14 or 15 or something like that. 11 to me is a good spot. I don't think the chalk is going to play out here. So as long as Tennessee can win out, I think we'll be fine. Don't get me wrong, it could play out, but I don't see the chalk playing out here.
Yeah.
I just don't. I think Indiana's going to get housed. And if they didn't, that creates a new issue altogether, especially if they were to win. But I think they get housed.
But if they do get housed,
do
you think they're going to drop them out? A one-loss Indiana? Do you think they better? Look,
they
and listen, they better. But listen. Big Ten bias, because you've got a Big Ten heavy college football playoff committee. The lead dude is the Michigan AD. They are fighting for the Big Ten, Coach Jay. So does that worry you? You're talking too logically. What is actually going to happen?
Once again, if it's 14 points, 13 points, something like that, I'm still nervous. If it's 18 points plus, I'm not that nervous. I guess we can draw it up like that maybe at the end of the day.
Ohio State to blow Indiana out.
Yeah, but then, there's other things in there too, right? Yeah. Like there just is. There's Ole Miss playing against a Florida team that's playing better right now than Tennessee fans would like to probably admit, especially at home. The one thing that it's a bad break there that it's in the morning. Bama's
Penn
got
State loses to Minnesota this weekend.
Yeah, that's a sneaky game. And Minnesota's really good at home. Yeah. They're certainly capable of winning that game.
But again, look where Penn State and Indiana are penciled in, right? It's almost like we talked about it last week, like where they ranked Georgia and where Tennessee was ranked. We let a couple of teams jump Tennessee so that we know if they lose to Georgia, we can put them on the outside looking in. Now we've boosted Indiana and Penn State up enough where if they lose this weekend, we can still keep them up there where they can get in.
I don't think so. After Minnesota, go ahead.
I swear, like if Indiana and Penn State with their resume, like what are resumes anymore? Like if
nothing.
Nothing.
You find a way to
Because-
validate it. Is all you're doing.
Exactly. Find and what they'll say, eye test. Get out of here. Look at who they've played. Look at their schedule. Yes, their eye test looks good because they ain't played nobody.
Because coach, they're looking at their wins and losses. That's all they care about.
Exactly. And then let's play all of our tough. If I'm Greg Slot or Greg Sankey, I'm scheduling all my hardest games in the beginning of the season and play cupcakes for the upper teams the rest of the year. That way, because that's what you want to do. If they ever play cupcakes, that's what they're saying as far as what this criteria is. Because other than Oregon and Ohio State, they haven't played the rest of Texas. They have 0 quality wins.
Right.
Except for Arkansas. I don't know.
I think their biggest win is Vanderbilt, Coach Rice.
Yes.
I think Vanderbilt's their biggest win.
Penn State, they lost to Ohio State, and they have 0 quality wins except for Michigan, who is awful.
It's not a quality win. Beating a 5-5 team is not a quality win. That's Indiana's fighting stance, right?
And then the two things even worse than that. Notre Dame lost a freaking NIU, and they haven't played nobody else.
So with that said, so what if Army beats Notre Dame? How's that going to look?
I don't think
they'll be done.
Happen, but
I don't think it'll happen.
I think USC has a better chance of beating Notre Dame than Army.
Hey, I'd just like to point out that USC, they're going to have them nice black snakeskin Kobe Bryant Mamba Nike cleats on for that game, looking good at the Coliseum at night.
I hope
posting a winning record at the Coliseum at night against Notre Dame. Watch out. Watch out.
And then Ole Miss losing to Kentucky.
Can you repeat that? I did not hear anything that you just said, Coach Jay. Can you repeat that? What did you say?
I said USC's they're going to be wearing those Mamba Kobe Bryant black snakeskin, beautiful red inlace, cardinal inlace, Trojan cleats, posting a winning record. Okay, I've had enough of this. I
don't think anybody in the chat. I don't think anybody in the chat knew that, but you.
They're going to clip
that. Knew that, but you. What do you think? What do you think about all this shenanigans, Dauber? What do you think about it?
Man,
am I crazy, or is there some Big Ten bias going on here?
Oh, totally. There's so much stuff that's questionable. Coach Rice dropped Texas in there. They've not played anybody, but here's some more bias. That Bama bias, jumping up 3 spots after beating Mercer. And Georgia only jumping 1 spot after beating a top 10 Tennessee team. Make sense.
Mm-hmm.
It makes 0 sense. Okay, look. Tennessee beat Alabama. Alabama beat Georgia. Georgia beat Tennessee. But we're going to put Alabama at 7 and then Georgia and Tennessee at 10, 11. That makes 0 sense. Absolutely 0 sense.
Their talking points on the whole show, and I didn't get to watch it live, but I watched the replay of it. All their talking points have 0 lines up with nothing. Like there's nothing that correlates to why one team is above the other. They can't give a proper, hey, what's the word I'm looking for? A proper judgment of why a team is where they are. And
validation is what we're looking for. Validation.
Validation for where they are. The only one that I can understand is Oregon because they beat Ohio State. That's the only one I can understand. The rest of the SEC teams are jumbled up. And the last thing I'll say before I let someone else go, in 2 years, in 2026, this is all going to change. They're not going to have those top 4 buys as far as the conference champions. And there was one more thing I saw. There's several people that's already – it'll be a 14-team playoff. I go ahead and tell you, we just got to get through this year and next year, and then a lot of it's going to change.
Right.
Well, it needs to be the best. It needs to be the best teams in the country. Period. Point blank. Like Boise State.
If they're up there, they're up there.
Well, let's look at the bracket. Boise State versus Oregon. Who's favored in that game, boys? Well,
Oregon by
I'm
21.
not asking these questions. Boise State against anybody on that bracket outside of BYU. Who's favored? The team they're playing. BYU does not belong. Like when we look at the SEC and we're talking about all these 10-2 teams and what needs to happen, who's better? Like I get it. It creates chaos and confusion when Alabama, Georgia, and Tennessee are all 10-2 and they all beat each other, right? That's because the SEC is the best freaking college football conference in the country, and it's not even close. But we're going to take a BYU team and we're going to plop them in at number 4 and give them a bye because they won the Mountain freaking West. I mean, it almost seems like we're playing in the Talkin VAWLS EA Sports College Football 25 dynasty, and Boogie's out here rolling around with App State, and he's only lost one game in a year and a half, and he's trying to toot his own horn saying he's the best one in the dynasty because he's lost less than anybody else. Like, what are we doing? What are we doing?
Look at this graphic right here. Look at the first round games. I think if that's the way they line up, I think Bama beats Notre Dame. I think Ole Miss beats Indiana. I think Georgia beats Penn State.
Well, all the top teams, I saw someone posted, all the top teams will lose to the bottom team. Like it's just the way it is. And then look at Ohio State. You don't think they're cheesing on down there, thinking they get BYU in the first game, then they get Boise State in the semifinals. Right. They don't have to play a tough game until Oregon. Like,
right.
I mean,
and then to add on, and like I said, the comment, like I said, Johnny, like I said, to add on to his comment, because, you look at Texas, right? So before we lost to Georgia, you have to go back and look at Texas' resume. It's like, okay, if your best win is Vanderbilt or Oklahoma, the Red River rival, okay, like, you beat your rival. That's cool. But I'm Tennessee. I went to your rival's house. I beat them at their house, and you're still ranked ahead of me. So that one I kind of didn't understand, before the Georgia game, because I was like, okay, how is Texas still ranked ahead of us when we beat your rival at their house? Yeah, and I mean, come on now, this don't make sense.
I hate to say it, and because I hate Georgia, but they should be number 2. Like I don't think there's any reason why Georgia they've played the toughest schedule in the country. They went and they beat Tennessee, they beat Texas at Texas. And they hung tough at Alabama, and they blew out Clemson. Like, I don't know what the committee is looking at to determine that Georgia is number 11. Like, are you kidding me? Indiana is number 5, and Georgia is number 11.
Coach, I agree with you today, but let me ask you a question real quick, just because I thought this earlier.
Yeah.
What if A&M runs Texas out of the building? Do you still agree that Georgia should be number 2? Because Texas has played nobody. So if all of a sudden that quality road win disappears for Georgia, do you still feel the same way?
Yeah, I don't think
they still have one,
but
they still have.
I agree. I was just hypothetically talking. I agree with you. Just so you know.
Hold on. I don't believe there are good people that pull for Georgia. I think they're all terrible, ugly, disgusting human beings. I think it's just that no, there are no good Georgia fans, Eric. There are none. You know what my favorite thing about all of this is right now? My favorite thing about all this is there were so many people that were ready to burn the program down because we lost to Georgia. Now we're sitting here debating if Georgia should be ranked number 2 instead of number 11. So I think that is freaking hilarious, and it all comes full circle.
And then to add on to that, because I watched your video about that literally the day before. It's like, guys, are we really gonna sit here and say burn the program down when we're 10-2? I mean, come on, guys. Like, we're 10-2. Go ahead, Coach.
I personally don't believe. Did you guys lose me, or can you hear me?
No, you're good.
Got you now.
Okay, yeah, sorry. I like scammed out for a second. Does anyone honestly believe, and I get that one-offs are a thing, right? Because it's happened, and it happened in the Texas situation, which is why I'm a little sus. But let's leave Texas out for a second. Ole Miss, Alabama, Georgia, Tennessee. Is anyone betting on any of those teams against any other of those teams when they're on the road?
No,
because I'm not.
You put all 4 of those teams.
I'm not.
All 4 of those teams you just mentioned in a 4-team playoff on neutral sites,
I don't know what's happening.
I have no freaking clue who's winning.
Me
But
neither.
I can tell you this: you put all 4 of those teams against Indiana, Boise State, BYU, Penn State. I got some pretty
Notre
strong
Dame.
feelings about that one.
Notre Dame, yeah.
Yeah.
Miami. Like,
I don't know how I feel about Miami.
And,
I don't know
the
how I feel
thing
about that.
is, the last thing Tennessee wants in the whole playoff scenario is SMU to go beat Miami in the ACC championship, because then you got another team that Tennessee's got having to fight with, because SMU will pop up to that 4 spot or 3 spot because they'll win the ACC championship, and then you got to worry about Miami being there, and they'll say, "Oh, Miami's got Cam Ward, we got to keep them in." Like that's another scenario where you hope Miami goes and takes care of business.
It just comes down to just this. This is just the reality of our situation. Like Coach Jay said earlier, just got to win out and we're fine. But you got to put up style points. You have to put up some style points, especially when we go down to Vandy. Oh, you better beat Vandy at least by like 30 or 20 points.
No,
it would help.
I mean,
it would help.
You have to, because
Here's the thing: is it's a no-win. It's a no-win. You go win this weekend by 40 points, 50 points, 35 points. None of it's going to matter,
right?
But if you go win by 2 touchdowns, they're going to use it against you.
Yep.
True.
That's the problem we're in right now. Let me pull up this article from BallQuest, because I like this, and it continues kind of the conversation we're on. And I knew this college football playoff conversation would be good. This is Matt Ray. Shout out Matt Ray. Although, why'd you ghost me, bro? You left me on red. I invited Matt Ray on the show, and he left me on red. And then I told Kate, I was like, bro, Matt Ray read my message and ignored him. He's like, bro, he probably forgot. You want me to hit him up? I was like, absolutely not. I do not want you to say Boogie's desperate. He asked me about you leaving him on red. Let's not do that. Sean Cross for 2 says, hello, good people. Outside of Boogie. I mean, are you a little mad? Are you a little mad because I went 3-0 last night versus the chat? 3-0, total domination. Every game was not close. Like I won every game easily. Not a single game last night was close. Just total domination. Got my 41st win against the chat. I dare you guys to come challenge me on Tuesday night. It will not end well. Sean was supposed to sleep. His wife was in the chat last night, and she said if he loses to Boogie, he's sleeping on the couch. I hope she stuck true to that. I hope you slept on the couch. You deserve it, you old dog, you. David Rose becomes a member of the channel. Thank you, David. We appreciate. By the way, I made a promise that I was going to give away a free T-shirt every month, and here we sit on November the 20th. Should we give one away tonight?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Yeah. How about we do this? How about we reward those that drop super chats? Everybody that drops a super chat tonight, whether it's 99 cents or $750, you're going to be entered in the drawing. That's what I'm doing tonight. You got to be a member of the channel, though, too. You got to be a member of the channel. Drop a super chat. We'll do a raffle. We'll give away a free shirt to somebody in the chat. $500. I don't care. You're going to be entered in the raffle. Pecan for $5. Just think Colorado will probably make the playoffs. Let that sink in. Yeah, that's another one.
Yep.
Coach Rice mentioned SMU. That's another one. Colorado, another one to keep an eye on. Although if they get in, is it
BYU will be?
They're out. They're out.
Yeah, they'll be
out.
BYU's out.
And we can't sleep on Arizona State either.
I was about to say Arizona State's gonna win the Big 12 going away, so it's not really an issue. But yeah,
I agree with that.
Yeah, I think they're far and away the best team in that conference right now, personally. But
let's take a look. Let's take a look at this article. I like this is good stuff from Matt Ray, breaking down Tennessee's college football playoff competition. So we talk about quality wins and losses. So let's go look at Indiana first. And I'm not going to read through the whole article. What I'm going to look at is Indiana, who was ranked. What I already dropped it off. Do y'all have it in front of you? What was Indiana ranked in the
fifth
college football playoff? Okay, 5th in the rankings. Their best win is against 500 opponents. Whether you want to take Michigan or Nebraska, worst loss, they're undefeated. They're about to get their doors blown off by Ohio State. Do y'all want to comment team by team, or do you want me to go through it all?
Team by team. Real quick, team by team.
Yep. All right. So thoughts on an Indiana team that's undefeated, ranked 5th, right, Coach Ross? Is that what you said? 5th?
Yeah, 5th.
Best win, 5-5 Michigan or 5-5 Nebraska. Worst loss, they're undefeated right now. What's an undefeated team? What would their record be if they played Tennessee's schedule, right?
6-4.
So are they in the college football playoff?
Nope.
No. Garbage.
No.
Any other
all you got
6-4 might be generous.
106 is all you got to say.
You're talking about their schedule ranking, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
They might be 500.
Yeah, it may be 5-5, like Dauber said.
Yeah. That's fair.
All right, let's roll on down here to Coach Jay's team, Notre Dame. Best win.
Because
that's who you're rolling with.
That's all you got.
Notre Dame. Best win. Texas A&M, an 8-2 team. Worst loss, Northern Illinois, a 6-5 program.
Who lost to Miami of Ohio last night? Not Miami Hurricanes, Miami of Ohio.
And that's too, like, record doesn't even speak enough truth to that, Coach Rice, because a 6-5 Northern Illinois team is not like a 6-5 SEC team, right?
Nope. They're losing to MAC teams. They lost to Akron.
Yeah.
This is
Yeah,
the
that's
one
no good.
I think we got to keep an eye on. Ole Miss. Best win, Georgia, who's 8-2. That's a home game. Worst loss, Kentucky, a 4-6 Kentucky team. I would compare that, I don't know, to Arkansas.
Yeah.
But they lost to Kentucky at Oxford.
Yeah.
That's a difference right there.
That's a bad loss right there.
But then we look at them and they are ranked ahead of Tennessee.
and not robbing Peter to pay Paul here, because I don't like doing that. But I mean, Florida beat the smack out of Kentucky, and so did Tennessee. So I think that game's going to be interesting. I really do. That Florida Ole Miss game. We'll see how it goes. But I want
to see how it goes. But of the 4 teams right now, I hate to say it, I think they're playing the best right now as far as what you're looking at from the last 3 or 4 weeks, because that's what the committee goes by. They don't care about what you've done all season.
I don't know, man. I think they pick and choose depending on the team that they're talking about, what they're looking at.
I agree with that. I agree with that too. But I mean, I think point blank, I think all 5 SEC teams should be in it. But I just think with their win against Georgia, how soundly they did it, and going against the teams Georgia has played with and done what they did this year, I just think that's too far and above. I think that's the best win in the country right now. I even though it's at Ole Miss, I think that's the best win so far, other than maybe Oregon at Ohio State.
But put some perspective on it too. You got a Florida team that's playing pretty good football. They're getting better as the season goes on. I was talking. Who was I talking to today? Was it Toby Farley? Shout out Toby. Toby's never in the chat. He never says anything. He just DMs me. I'm like, bro, I'm live right now. You could be in the chat participating, but you want me to respond to your message. Toby, get in the chat. Let's hang out. I think that's who I was talking to today, and he was like, do you really think Florida can beat Ole Miss? I said 1,000%. It's in the swamp. Yeah. It's in the swamp. Florida's playing good football. Yes, that Ole Miss win over Georgia was huge, man. But I think Florida can beat Ole Miss. I truly believe that.
And we've already talked about the 2 most realistic ways for Tennessee to jump up, and that's Ohio State blowing out Indiana by 17+, and Ole Miss losing to Florida. Those are the 2 most realistic ways for Tennessee. And I would maybe say Minnesota beating Penn State. So those
or Notre Dame, 3. And then after probably 4 is Notre Dame losing.
Right? Yeah. And then a weird outside one, and I don't even know if it would still happen, but that weird one of maybe A&M beating Texas and them not having a quality win. But that's problematic, like I said. So the other ones are way.
Well, with
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 above that option.
Well, because like I said, at that A&M one, like I said, the committee's got to go back and look at Texas' resume. It's like, okay, yeah, you played Georgia, they beat you at your house, and then here comes A&M, which is playing really good football right now. That's your little brother rival. And just saying, if they do beat you, then it's like for the committee to sit there and be like, well, dang, what are we going to do with Texas?
Well, but then you're going to have to worry about A&M jumping Tennessee and then keeping Texas in there.
And hey, don't blink, and I don't think this will happen, but Auburn's beaten Alabama under crazier circumstances.
Exactly.
They
100%.
they just have. They
Is
just,
it at
and
Auburn?
I
No,
don't know, but
think
I
it's at
know
Bama.
this. I know
It's at Bama.
this. Auburn would love nothing more. Would love nothing more
That's
than
their
to
Super
bounce
Bowl,
them.
man.
Not
That's their
saying it
Super
will
Bowl.
happen at all. I don't think it will.
I
Just
think it could
saying.
be close. By
I think it could be close.
well, shoot, look at
It's
last
just one of
year.
those games. It's like Florida Tennessee. It's always a weird rock fight kind of game. You know, you don't know what's going to happen.
This
It's
year,
at
it's
Alabama.
yeah,
At
it's
Alabama.
at Alabama. Yeah, it's
Okay,
gonna be
yeah,
tough
it's
for
just once
Auburn.
again you can't. It's just weird. That
I mean,
game's
look at
always
last
That's the
weird.
thing is we need one thing to happen. All these things that we're rattling off, I'm taking this off. I knew we couldn't even get through half the article. We need one of these things to happen, right? All these things we're laying out. We just need one to happen and go beat Vanderbilt. That's it. That's all we need. And college football's been crazy this year, man. Crazy. Let me catch up with super chats. Somebody said, Boogie, you should do more free giveaways. By the way, I think I barely paid for the shirt at this point. I don't know that I paid for shipping yet. So I don't know that I should do these crazy things. But Will Murley drops $1. Black Metal Banjo for 2 says, done. Give me the free shirt. Boogie Jason Eagleson for 1 wants that free shirt. Angry Titan for 5 says, I'm the OG of the door feed. Drop them, boys. Get in where you fit in. Appreciate you, Angry Titan. Tim Rice for $1. Todd Landers for 2. Shirt money. Give me the shirt, Boogie. Give me the shirt. Wayne Starnes for 5 says, free stuff, chance to win. I'm in. Just give me free stuff, Boogie. That's what Wayne says. Well, I think Wayne's won 2 free shirts, and I put it into a Google randomizer. And they love Wayne for some reason. I don't know why. Vols go for 5. Door fee. I am working. Is that code for dating, going on a date with Big Orange Mountain?
Yeah, like book club.
Yeah, but we're going to a book club on game day. Come on, boys.
Come on.
We need Florida to beat Old Misery and Ohio State to blow out Indiana. I wish we didn't have to rely on other teams. GBO. We should have beat Arkansas is what we should have done.
Point blank, we should have beat Arkansas.
Carl for $1. That's the thing, man. Everybody that's yelling about Georgia, I'm like, no, we should have beat Arkansas.
Yep.
Carl for $1 is in the raffle. Timothy McGee, been a member for 14 months. Appreciate you. Is Mrs. Coach J for 2 saying GBO? Is she trying to get in the Coach J? Do y'all need merch? I will send you all free merch. All you gotta do is tell me.
We got merch.
You know the deal. You send me your size. You send me the style. I'm pretty sure I've got your sizes memorized.
I don't know. Women love clothes. I don't know.
Mrs. J's like, can I enter the raffle? No, just tell me what you want. I will send it to you. Your husband is here every day of the week. I will send.
I know this. She wants a Razorback. I can tell you that much.
Yeah. I know the size. I know the style. I usually know the color. Just tell me which design. Evan Counts for 2 says, never win anything here. Oh my God. Now I'm put on blast. I'm rigging things for Wayne. I'm just giving everything to Wayne for free. Why are you super chatting to insult me? Noah for 2 slips a couple under the table. Bribe, no. I don't think this is working in my favor. Everybody's going to be mad at me. Timothy McGee for 5. I like what Kitzelman said. They shot themselves in the foot, period. Tennessee didn't take care of business. He also got emotional talking about senior day. I liked his
we didn't mention
this week
earlier.
Yeah. Like he talked about the kind of similar to Brew McCoy, just Tennessee is home. Billy Todd for 2, better late than never. Appreciate you, brother. P. Blackster for 2. We're waiting for a team to lose. I like our odds. Caleb Scholes for 5. We needed to beat the brakes. We need to beat the brakes off of Andy. Yes, we do. For sure. Wade Rouse for 2. Give your boy another shirt. You already got a tattoo. Do you really need a shirt? All right, where are we? Let's see. Hold on. Dustin Young for another 2. Long shot. Bama loses to Oklahoma. We beat Vandy. Resume. Go ahead, Dauber.
No, I was just going to say, isn't it funny how, we're years away from, beyond the BCS period and all that, the computer rankings and this and that, where back then style points mattered. And we're supposed to be beyond that.
But we're not.
Now we're right back to, you got to beat somebody by whatever, 40 points. And then, no, it actually doesn't matter who you played or, what your strength of schedule is. It's the most ridiculous thing. And the fact that here we are, 3 weeks of the season left, and you've got all these scenarios that, depending on how they play out, there's probably going to be deserving teams left out.
Yeah. So with that being said,
that's what this playoff was supposed to avoid.
Right. So with that being said, do you think we should go back to divisions then?
Everybody's got a blank look on their face.
I still prefer it this way because to me, it's like, even if it's Tennessee in this situation, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, and I know we all believe we should be in this playoff, and that's fine. But at the end of the day, I think we all do recognize too that if we don't get in, it's a bet of our own making. And at the end of the day, we'd be okay with that. So for that reason, I'm all right with it, where I feel like, even in the 4-team system, I feel like there could be a jam of 1-loss teams, and then you don't know. Whereas to me, if you got 2 losses, like, could you still win it all? 100%. And I know we'll get into it later, but
you should have beat Arkansas.
Don't lose 2 games.
Yeah. But before the season, if you would have said we're going to finish 10-2.
Yeah, we all thought
we were in.
Yeah, we
would have thought you're in.
And that's don't
10-2
bury
in the SEC should get you in.
Don't bury the lead. Let's just go into it now. So if we go 10-2, Dauber, and we get left out, we get hung out to dry. You disappointed in this season, or are you celebrating a 10-win season and circumstances kept us out of the college football playoff?
I mean, I think you get double-digit wins, and then your 11th win in the bowl game. I think it's a successful season.
But still got a little bit of disappointment, right? Still got a little
a flawed system, though.
Flawed.
Yeah. Because you can't tell me that there's parity in the strength of the teams that are listed in that playoff grouping right now. They're on different levels. And
here's the thing, like
that's what I have issue with.
By the way, Haystack, hit that join button, bro. You can become a member of the channel. You will look way better with a power T beside your name. Do y'all really believe we deserve it? We deserve it.
Alabama.
As much as Indiana deserves it. We deserve it.
We beat Alabama.
As much as Boise State deserves it. We deserve it as much as Ole Miss deserves it. We deserve it as much as all the teams that are in front of us, right? We beat Alabama, and Alabama's up here at the top. They're up here at the top. Why? You got a bunch of 10-2 SEC programs that have been through the grind, ups and downs, losses they shouldn't have had, wins that are impressive. They're all really good football teams. And I saw, who was it? I'm trying to get the name. I got to find it. Davey Boy said earlier, he said too many TCUs getting in this year. That's the problem. It's so, and I think Davey Boy also said, do we need to expand to 16? No, we need to get rid of teams like Boise State and BYU and all these teams that have no bit. Look, this ain't March Madness. This ain't college basketball. This ain't college baseball where these little tiny schools can come and do something. Those teams are not going to win. Point blank, get them out. And let's go have a real, true 12-team college football playoff. That's
right. No, I agree. They have to get rid of it. That's one thing. And don't get me wrong. If Boise State goes and schedules 2 Super Power 5 conference teams during the regular season and goes beats them, and then goes and rattles off their conference record, does what they're supposed to do, yes, I'm perfectly fine with them getting in. But they have no point in getting in when they're playing teams like Air Force and San Diego State to get in, to show their resume that they're, could get in when you have 12 teams that are way more better resume and better eye test than what they show. Same thing with, I get the Big 12 is still a power conference, but they don't play the same type of football. They don't play the same type of football. They just don't. I mean, and other than Miami and SMU, maybe
Clemson.
I mean, and Clemson. What can you say about the ACC? Really, you need to take the top 6 Big Ten teams and the top 6 SEC teams and let them go at it. Like, I mean, That's the best way to find out who's the best champion.
We should have done a full show just on the college football playoff rankings. We've got a 30 to 45-minute debate waiting to happen next. Like we've not even touched the surface for the main event, and we got to film the breakdown after this. We're gonna be up
on UTEP week.
But I know, bro. I know,
right? But
this is what happens when I bring. Let's just all five go. Let's just all five go live. This is what happens. Hold on, I got a bunch of super chats we got to catch up on. Louisiana ball for 2. Hypothetically, we beat Georgia. Where would we be? You would think ahead of
2 or 3
Alabama.
We'd be 2 or
Yeah,
3.
At least
you'd
ahead of
be up
Alabama.
there. You'd be up
Because
there.
we were at
I
7,
think we'd be 6 behind Penn State and
if they would have done that, ooh.
I think they would have, Coach Rice. I really think they would have.
We would have
I
done
really
an hour
believe
on
they
that.
would have. I
They
really
would've.
believe they would have.
How
I
did-
do.
And that if that was the case, the Big Ten bias would be so like it's already there, but it'd be so blatant it's unreal.
Mm-hmm.
Kyle Sanford for 10 says Dauber for president.
Oh my God, we should leave it at that.
Okay,
We should close with that. That is the mind blower of mind blowers.
Good.
Let's go.
Joe Rogan said it, not me. Timothy McGee for 2 says Oregon go by the AP and coaches poll. Will Dyer for 5. Dorothy just finished work. What I miss?
Nothing. We've done nothing for 56 minutes,
Yep.
Will.
Yep.
Trying to make a case for us to get into the playoffs.
I don't think Dauber's lying. Shane Mountain for 2. Need a late birthday. Shout out Shane. Happy late birthday. I wish you a birthday last night.
Point
too.
blank, I'd almost rather go to the BCS computers again. I mean, like,
Yeah.
You can't even let me get through super chats without yelling about the rankings.
One more thing.
One more thing. At least you weren't muted. Listen, Dylan for 2. Go Vols. Appreciate you, brother. Timothy McGee for 2. FCS has the best playoff structure. Let everybody in. Settle it on the field. Although you would think a win over Alabama would settle it on the field. Not so fast, my friend. Vols go for 5. It's flawed because humans are making this decision. Yes, I am working. And yes, I did have a book club meeting. And yes, I am with Big Orange Mountain. And yes, I am madly. Oh, wait, that's not what it says. It says I will be at the. You're getting married to Big Orange Mountain on Saturday? Is that what I just read?
Oh, okay. All right.
That's what I
All right.
Sean Cross for 5. Boogie, did Coach Jay get the Domtar and Eastman experience when visiting a few weeks back? We asked him if he drove by the Eastman. He said, yeah, we drove by a power plant. And no, he didn't. He didn't drive by a power plant. I don't think he knew where he was at. David Rose for 2. We appreciate that. Super sticker. I don't even know what it is because we're so far gone. But we appreciate you, brother. Do y'all want to talk about Joel Klatt?
Yes.
This show's going to go 2 hours.
Yeah, it's going to get rowdy in here.
It's going 2 hours.
Let's talk about that more on. Let's go.
The first 2 idiots to come out and say, yeah, let's do it, are the 2 that have to film the breakdown. So we may film the breakdown Thursday night, Friday afternoon. I may reschedule y'all. I ain't staying up till midnight because y'all want to talk about Joel Klatt. But here we go.
5 o'clock.
We go. No, it's not, Coach Jay. It's not 5 o'clock.
I'm down.
All right. So Coach Rice has been spammed. By the way, Coach Rice, why in God's when have you ever messaged the Talkin VAWLS Twitter account and not me on Facebook or me on Twitter? Why are you messaging like I didn't even see it till today? I think.
No, it was supposed to be a post at Talkin VAWLS. I didn't realize I messaged you at first. And so it's a pure accident.
I was like, why is this in my DMs? And
Can you hear me?
Yeah, JP definitely sent that DM. Definitely sent that DM. So, Shane Bentley, I think he's going to win. Oh, my gosh. No, he's a Georgia fan. Oh, my gosh. He comes in here, and I start to become his friend, and then I realize he's a Georgia. Oh, my gosh. He
wants a shirt. He wants a volunteer shirt.
Oh, you think should we send him the FUGA shirt? Should we send Shane?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, he's very generous. He dropped a $10 super chat. So. I don't believe there are good people that pull for Georgia. I think they're all terrible, ugly, disgusting human beings. I think it's just that no, there are no good Georgia fans, Eric. There are none. Shane Bentley, love the last name, says, "Go Dogs." Too soon? No, you're good. To be honest, though, I don't understand the premise of this college football playoff committee having Miami behind Bama and not also behind Ole Miss and Georgia. This season is 2007 mixed with steroids. I go back to what Coach Rice said earlier. I think Georgia is one of the best teams in the country. 100%. I truly believe that. And I think people put too much stock into what Ole Miss did to them the week prior to the Tennessee game. Georgia's a good football team. I think people devalue them, say they're not the Georgia of old. No, they're not. They're still a damn good football team. That's it.
But if we do meet up with them in the playoffs, though, we do want that smoke.
It better be a neutral site, X, because I don't know if I want that smoke in Athens.
No,
hey, but you know what they say, Book? It's hard to beat a team twice.
It's also hard to beat a team for the first time in 5 years in Athens. It's really hard to beat them in Athens.
Hard.
But look, because
really,
don't.
I agree with X on that statement.
Because listen,
I'll tell you, I have had powerhouse teams that have had trouble beating teams twice. It is very, 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 very difficult.
You don't think Josh Heupel
Just ask Georgia and Alabama how hard it is. They can
because you don't think Josh Heupel and this team remembers what happens in Athens?
I think Josh Heupel and his team struggle against Kirby Smart and the Georgia Bulldogs.
Say it again, Boogie.
Don't get me go. Why are me and Coach Rice teaming up against X and Coach J? This never happens.
It's never happening.
What is happening right now? All right, let's go take a listen to this. Joel Klatt talking about Tennessee. I'm going to play the clip, and then I'm going to give you guys some some of the clips that he said, some of the quotes that he said, some of the stats that come off of this clip. So this is, if you don't have a secondary pitch, you don't get outs. Joel Klatt worries about Tennessee at the top level because of their limits as an offense. Let's take a listen.
I think Tennessee is a hell of a football team. I really do. They are a top echelon team. There's no doubt, but they are not a top level team. Tennessee right now is maxing out what they can do because of the way that they kind of play offense. And if you don't have a secondary pitch, if you don't have a secondary option as an offense, then you're going to get shut down. And that's what we see from Tennessee. Look at this year. In the games in which they have a clear athlete advantage, they're scoring a lot of points. And in the games that you would consider their athletic advantage minimized, they don't. They don't. And the reason is because there's not a second pitch. Like, where do you go when the athletes in space philosophy isn't working? I'm really concerned about Tennessee at the top level. Is this a national championship caliber team? I do not think it is. And it's for that reason. That doesn't mean that they can't be really good. And it doesn't mean that they can't win games that are matchup games, and in particular in their home stadium. But it's not sustainable because at some point you don't have your fastball. And if you don't have a secondary pitch, then you don't get outs.
There's so many. I think the best thing for me to do is kind of go through some of the numbers that were in this full podcast versus just, okay, let me give you a minute and 20 seconds and let's rail Coach Rice here. I think it's better to go through the full thing. So what they're talking about here, Tennessee averaging 35.5 points per game. Overall, that's 18th in the country. Pretty good, right? I think we could all agree 18th in the country scoring offense. Pretty good. 63.7 points per game in non-conference games. 23.4 points per game in the SEC. It goes on to say, split that between Oklahoma, Kentucky, and Mississippi State, the three teams currently in the last in the league, with Georgia, Alabama, Arkansas, and Florida, two of which they've lost to, and one of which took them to overtime, and those are averages are different as well, 28.7 versus 19.5. Coach Rice, you were the one blasting this all over the internet. You were into this article. You like the On3 article that they put out. So you speculate on that, and we'll kind of go from there.
Well, my point of it was this year. I posted that on my Twitter and on my Facebook that I credit it to just this year. Now, I'm not talking about 2022's offense. I think they could have scored with anybody in the country except for Georgia that year because they had the 21 pro draft picks on their team. But we also had pro draft picks on our team on offense. So we were out athleting those teams like Missouri, where we put up a crap ton of points. Kentucky put up a crap ton of points. Florida put up a crap ton. Like all these teams where we had those draft picks and we were out athleting people. Well, this year, this offense, showing what the offense has done throughout the whole year, it's not a small sample size anymore. It's a whole SEC schedule, and then you compare it to what we did in the non-SEC schedule. It's there. Like, the stats are there. We use the athlete in space, and we go against these teams like Kent State and NC State, who is not on the same level as Tennessee, and go score 63.7 points a game, I think was the number Boogie said. And then you go against these SEC teams who, week by week, no matter if you like it or not, athlete by athlete, they're supposed to be even with you. Other than maybe Georgia and Alabama, who we know from year to year gets the 5-star athletes. So when you go up against these teams and have the offense that we have, you have to go make plays. And are we making those plays this year? No, we're not. I'm not saying the scheme isn't there, but the athletes aren't making those plays that we've seen from year to year. And for this offense to work, you have to have the athletes to go make those plays. Now, and Boogie talks about it all the time. We're getting guys open. Yes, but why are we not executing on those plays? Do we not have the Jalen Hyatt? Do we not have the Darnell Wright at right tackle holding down the line? Do we not have the Cedric Tillman on the outside? There's a lot that's going into this article. The reason why I don't think we could go, be a top 3 team this year. Now, I also said in that chat comment that can we beat any team in this country at Neyland on any given week? Yes, we can, obviously, because it's at Neyland, and I think things have to go perfect. Like, we beat Alabama at Tennessee, and we probably played our best game of the season against SEC teams. So put that on a neutral site field or on the road, given that situation, like we were this week against Georgia. What happened? Other than the first quarter, it got to the point where we were getting out-athlete and we weren't being able to execute in space. Our offense is just all year has not been able to succeed because of those situations that I'm talking about. And so I just don't think this year is the year where we can say we can go win the national championship unless given perfect circumstances.
So let me kind of put some perspective on this. I really thought this was going to go down a play calling route, a Joey Halsley route, an Alex Golesh route, because that's been a hot topic that you've chimed in on too, talking about Alex Golesh. And I do think we miss Alex Golesh. I truly believe we miss his imagination. We miss
creativity.
Him in that meeting room, right? Anybody that thinks that Joey Halsley's sitting in a room by himself charting up plays, you're insane. No. If you think that Alex Golesh sat in a room by himself charting up plays, you're insane. I do think we miss Alex Golesh's mind. I do. I think he's a great offensive mind. I do.
I think his eyes up in the
box. In the box, yes. Yeah. So you're coming at this more from a talent perspective, and I'll be the first one to say I said this Monday with Kaner on the show. I said I think I devalued Jalen Hyatt, Cedric Tillman. I don't know that I devalued Hendon Hooker. I think.
I listed him there because he is an NFL quarterback. Because I think Nico can make all the throws that he made, but you also got to think about Hendon Hooker was a 5th-year senior, so he's been there, he's done that. But the biggest one that a lot of people ain't talking about is Darnell Wright.
Yeah,
and Jerome Carver. I didn't even mention Jerome Carver in there too.
Let me say this real quick. And then I know Coach Jay's got a ton of stuff to say. VolQuest, Brent Hubbs went down a rabbit hole, man, comparing 2022's offense to 2024's offense. It's behind a paywall, so I don't want to go through everything that he said. Rushing offense, 2022. Tennessee averaged 4.96 yards per carry. This year, 4.93. Pretty dang comparable, right? It's the passing offense. 2022 is 326 yards per game. This year, 229.5 per game. Completions versus attempt, 290 out of 422 in 2022, 186 out of 288 You look at the number of attempts. The number of attempts are way down there too. We're not going as fast. So, like anybody out there that wants to come at Nico here, we've only thrown the football 288 times. That is worth looking at. Yards per catch, 14.6 in 2022, 12.3 in 2024. Yards per pass, 10, 2022, 8, 2024. Total offense, 7.2 yards per play. 2022, 6.1. I think we're missing big plays in 2024. Sacks allowed, 27. We talk about protection, and Nico, 27 sacks allowed in 22, 23 allowed in 2024, and we still got 2 games to go. Red zone efficiency, 63 and 67, 53 touchdowns, 38 and 49, 27 touchdowns. Not as efficient in the red zone as we thought. Offensive possessions, 2022, 165. Again, we got 2 more games to play. 12.7 per game compared to 13.1 per game. Now, this is the stat that stands out to me more than anything. 30-plus yard plays. 53 in 2022. 23 in 2024. I know that's a bunch of numbers. I just puked a bunch of numbers all over y'all. Coach Jay, jump in this argument.
Let me end this retardation. Hold on. Hold on. Sorry. All right. First of all,
what just happened? He muted himself. He was like, I'm out of line. I'm gonna mute myself. And then he's like, I gotta figure out.
And let me apologize for my mouth first. That was inappropriate. But
just happened?
I have to stop it. Number one, Joel Klatt's an idiot. I don't know how you all followed a word he said. No one cares about him who's not a Big Ten commissioner picking the top 5 of the college playoff. Okay? And let me explain why. These are Joel Klatt's. I wrote them down in 2012's words. Kirby Smart and Nick Saban will never go anywhere. They are losing their football programs. Alabama has a problem in both these players.
Okay, hold on. Can I let Coach Rice know? I sent the article to Coach Jay and said, go ahead and do your homework. And I'm the mediator.
And here's my problem. I don't have a problem with any of the stats that you laid out, Boogie. Did any of Coach Jay's Coach Rice's arguments? Hell, I agree with a lot of them. I do. But I got a big problem on what Joel Klatt said that and what he said about this, because guess what? Fairy tales don't win championships. Fan service doesn't win championships. You know why Kirby Smart and Nick Saban were right and Joel Klatt was wrong? Because defense wins championships. Tennessee is 8-2 this year because of defense, not because of offensive numbers. That's bullcrap, man. This team, I'll tell you what. And yeah, circumstance has something to do with it. Look at Ohio State. Yeah, gonna have to go run through BYU, gonna have to go run through Boise State. And here's the thing about tournament basketball, tournament football, or anything. You only got to beat the teams they put in front of you. All right, that's number one. So let's see how it lays out. But number 2, defense wins championships. Don't forget what pays the bills, baby. It's defense in this conference. It's defense that's been beating up on that. It's a good Florida defense, a good Oklahoma defense, a good Alabama defense, and a damn good Georgia defense that's causing these numbers you're talking about. Guess what? Newsflash, scoring in the SEC is difficult. Crazy, right? Wild concept, I know, especially on the road. I'm just saying, guys, I think this team has an elite defense, and if defense wins championships, case closed, case in point. Do I want the offense to be prettier in 22? Yeah, I want that offense to be that pretty as it was in 22, but you know what didn't happen in 22? We didn't go nowhere. And you know why we didn't go nowhere? Because the defense was booty. Period. Case in point.
We had to score 60 points a game because we were giving up 57.
Yeah, we were sending the whole house. I mean,
I'm just saying, and like I said, it's not. I didn't disagree with a damn thing Rice or Boogie said. They're not one.
I'm the moderator.
I had a problem with it.
I chose to be neutral tonight.
I had a problem with it because I'm a defense coach, damn it.
Yeah.
I love you all. Sorry.
You couldn't have asked for a better article to create controversy, because I got the OC versus the DC yelling at each other. Like, sign me up for this.
I know Coach Rice loves it because he's had this conversation with a million DCs.
I know defense wins championships. I know Tennessee has an elite defense, but what happened against Georgia? They exposed our defense. I mean,
Yeah,
I
it
hate to
sucked.
say it.
It's
The middle of the defense
I'll
was
take. Now,
nowhere.
there's an argument I'll get
That
with.
was a horrible game plan.
Yeah, that was one game.
I thought it was an aberration.
X brought up a great point. That's one
Look,
game.
look,
X.
that
That's
was one game though, because guess what? Our
Against
defense,
elite
this
teams,
whole
this is what the whole argument is based on. Though. Against elite teams, who have we played other than Alabama and Georgia? Can you consider elite?
We beat
Nobody.
Alabama, first of all. Bring Georgia to Neyland Stadium. Bring Georgia.
That's who's been on our
Bring
schedule. That's
Georgia
who's
to
been
Neyland
on the
Stadium.
schedule.
Oh,
Bring
this is
Georgia
great
to
TV.
Neyland
I need
Stadium.
my popcorn. Hold on.
Bring Georgia to Neyland Stadium. Who's winning, Diver? Bring Georgia to Neyland Stadium. Who's winning?
It's a toss-up.
I think it's a
I
toss-up
would
game.
give us
picking
the
up.
edge.
And
I would
Neyland,
give
I'm
us
picking
the
up.
edge.
Nah, I wouldn't give us the edge.
I'm taking
I would
Tennessee
give
and
us
Neyland.
the edge.
Let me tell you something. boys. Let me tell you
It's
something.
a great conversation.
I know it was a 14-point game, right? Tennessee got blown out 31-7. No, they didn't. They dominated Georgia in the first quarter. Stop spinning these BS. Coach Rice.
I
Coach
agree.
Jay,
I
you
agree.
should have said the word bullshit. You should have said it.
did.
You
Well,
should have
that's-
said
I
it.
agree
I'm
with
sorry.
that.
Sometimes,
That
yes.
is what I wrote
Sometimes
down when Joel
Sandwich.
Klatt. When Joel Klatt was talking, that's what I wrote down. That is what I
Sometimes
wrote
it's
down.
okay to say it. That was a one-score game. If our offense can go down the field and score and execute late in that game, it's a different ball game, boys. It was a one-score game. Yes, Georgia drove the field. They scored late, made it a two-score game. We were in that game. We were in the fight. I hate these people that come out and say, oh, Georgia beat the brakes off. No, they didn't. And Georgia is one of the best freaking teams in the country, and we went toe-to-toe with them in Athens at night when they've not been at home in a month, and they've not lost in Athens in 5 years, and we punched them in the mouth and went toe-to-toe with them, put it in Neyland Stadium, put it at night, give me dark mode, give me the balls, baby, because that's all I know.
And then also think of this too. Other than the Texas game, Georgia has struggled on the road just like we struggled. We can go back to that Kentucky game. We were all sitting there like, is this Georgia? This is the championship team everybody's talking about? But yeah, at home, just think, like Boogie said, they never lost at home. Guess what? It's been a long time since we lost at home too.
We don't either.
Exactly. So it's kind of like a mirror. It's like, okay, yeah, you took care of Texas on the road, but guess what? We took care of Oklahoma on the road. So, I mean, yeah, we lost to Arkansas. Cool, whatever. But then you also lost to Ole Miss on the road. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, come on now. It's like a mirror.
The thing is, we're not going to have any more games at Neyland Stadium. Like, I get y'all's point, but we have no more games at Neyland Stadium. It's just not going to happen. So, can we go do this on the neutral site field against Ohio
It depends
State,
on matchups.
Oregon?
It depends on matchups,
And
right?
Yes, I agree with that.
It does.
And
That's what I'm saying. Like your path
I agree
matters.
with that completely.
Yeah. Your path matters.
But like Georgia, Alabama, it took everything and Neyland Stadium to handle Alabama. Can we go do it? No, I'm not saying we couldn't.
I know.
We could.
But what I'm saying is, look at the college football playoff rankings. Where's Alabama? Guess what? We beat Alabama, right?
Yeah, I know.
I think the thing is there's so many different angles to this thing. There's so many different angles to this conversation. Do we need more Jimmys and Joes? I think we do. I don't think we've quite closed the talent gap, and I think it's very strange to me. And somebody said it. I think we mentioned this Sunday night, Coach Jay. Somebody said J.D. Pickell doesn't know anything about talent. Well, that's weird because he played wide receiver at an elite level. I think he knows about the wide receiver position in college football. He said we had 4 guys that could start anywhere in the country. I think they've been a disappointment. Yeah. I don't think they've been as good as we thought. And it's like that. That's why I keep pushing back on the Joey Halsley stuff. Was Alex Golesh creative? Yes, they did a lot of creative things. And I wish we did more of those creative things. But if guys execute, if guys make plays, if guys catch the football, if Nico puts the football in their hands, he struggled at times too. It's across the board. It's not just the wide receivers. It's not just Nico. It's not just the offensive line. If all guys are executing, those numbers that Joel Klatt wants to talk about look way different.
That's why I talk about a talent perspective and a little bit of the I think there's a little bit of X's and O's into it because obviously when we were doing all that in 21 and 22, we can't forget we scored a lot of points in 21 as well. I think there's a little bit of mixture of everything.
Yes.
Mainly talent perspective, but I think there's still a little bit of X's and O's there that are still lacking just a little bit. Now, I agree with you, Boogie, because they do get.
We're both in agreement here. We're both in agreement here. We're both in agreement. I think it's a little bit of both. I think it's a little bit of both. I do.
In 21 and 22, though, we had to scheme our way to scoring those points because the talent level there was such a drop off, and you only had certain guys that could hang with.
Look at the Alabama game. Alex Golish found ways to get Jalen Hyatt matched up on the safety that he wanted based on motion and movement and disguising things. We're not seeing that as much this year, but guys are still wide open and they're dropping the football. So, that's what's mad.
And that's what I want to hit. You said it, Boogie. It's execution, but it's not just execution. It's consistency of execution because we've had it at points and times in every damn game we played in.
They had in the Georgia game.
It's not been 4 quarters of every game.
Right. He's right.
Yeah, I'm with you.
It's carrying the fight.
One of my keys to victory.
60 minutes. I mean, that's what it is.
It's been on me and Coach Rice, key to victory. One of us, for those of you who haven't been paying attention, the 4 quarters comment, Dauber, has been on everyone, whether he has said it and sometimes both, and it's probably going to be, it is on it tonight, I know for me. So it is, like even the Georgia game, one half of football tied, the other half not.
Well,
can this team figure out on neutral territory how to put a whole game of football together? Because if we can, I think we can beat anyone. I do.
Right. Quarter of football dominating.
Right. Georgia didn't put 4 quarters together, right? Like that's the thing. Everybody will say we can't put. Georgia didn't do it either. But they found a way to win.
That's the talent gap part, though, because for me, it's like easy to get. So, like let's say what UTEP's at 3% talent, right? And Tennessee's at 97% talent, and Georgia, Bama's pulling all the top 5-star classes that are 100% talent. Yeah, 97 sounds really freaking good, but that last 3% is tough to make up because it's in the thickness and depth of your squad all the way through. And that counts late in the season when you've been playing beat up football. And this conference is tough, man. We have beaten the crap out of each other as a Southeastern Conference this year.
And what I love is we're so close to Georgia.
I know we are.
We're so close.
I don't even think we necessarily even disagree.
No, we're not. That's why it's just great talking points. That's why I love the article. When Coach Rice put it out, I was like, "This is great talking points."
And then the last thing I'll say to all of that, I think when you talk about the talent perspective and the X's and O's, you combine all of that. That's the reason why being an offensive coordinator, I'm not going to change something that's broken. That doesn't need fixed. That's one thing I haven't understood why. There's some very minimal differences from what we saw in 21 and 22 to 23, 24. It's not much, but there is a little differences. And the last thing I'll say, you look at what Jalen Hyatt and Cedric Tillman brought to the offense. You had wide radius catching ability, a high elite speed, and then when you have paired with a veteran offensive line with Cooper Mays, Javonte Spraggins, Jerome Carvin, Darnell Wright, and either Crawford or Mincy. You had everything there as far as the offense that was a perfect fit in that year for it to all come together. We were just lacking the defense. So it's like we haven't came to bring all of it together at once.
Coach Rice, can I ask you a question? Because I and we talked the other night off the air, right? Like people don't realize we will chat. And I know, like you said, you were critical, and I felt rightfully so of Nico early in this season, right, for all the things. I gave him a D. I thought, but you've also kind of been on that train, like a lot of people, like Black Metal Banjo in the chat right now, saying, yeah, Nico's been putting together hats. A lot of people was really happy after the game. But here's my question to you, and let's even give a tease for the future with it for fun. Do you think this team might not need an elite wide receiver room, but do you think they need one elite NFL wide receiver within the room?
Yep.
Do you think Mike Matthews can be that player, or do you think
he
he's
can.
had
I
injuries?
think he's just got to get an
Okay.
offense to get healthy.
It's just
Can
the
I
one
yell?
thing.
Can I
Go
yell
ahead,
at y'all
X.
real quick?
Yeah, and then let X talk.
I want to argue with y'all real quick because, and I'm in the same boat talking about Jalen Hyatt and Cedric Tillman. Squirrel White's been banged up all year. Dante Thornton's banged up. We've not had healthy wide receivers.
But
That's part of it,
Dante,
too.
but I was going to say Dante's the only one been making plays though.
Until
I mean,
he got banged up, and then he had
Yeah.
that drop this past week.
Yeah.
Yep. Big drop. Yeah.
Hey, I want to give a tip of the cap to Squirrel. He made some plays this week. Yes, he had one bad drop, and that is when he hit the ground. You got to hang on
that
to
one
it.
PI
But
that wasn't called.
He had one, a couple over
call.
the middle that the throw was behind.
Great catch.
That
was a great catch.
Made the play. And, it's just we're not seeing, 2022. You think about all the catches that are just rattling through your head. Jalen Hyatt having those games. You had Ramel Keaton, who's a star of the year, a role player, laying out in Florida, critical third down. You have Brew McCoy over and over again making big plays. And then even in 21, you had Cedric Tillman career year, Velus Jones making plays in the slot all the time, and Mr. Touchdown, Javante Payne. Like, you're not having those plays this year that are just bouncing off in your head where you're saying, oh, he made a big play at this point in the game.
But again, it goes back to what we said earlier, man. We had them, and either Nico missed them or guys dropped balls. Like, that's it.
Or
like how much different? But again, I think that was the best thing about what Hubs put out in that article is, guess what? Hendo Cinco got sacked more than Nico. Hendo Cinco got pressured just as much. And they're very similar. Their styles are very similar. But the difference was guys were making plays, man. Guys were making catches. Hendo Cinco was making the throws. And, yeah, he missed some. Of course, every quarterback missed some.
Everyone
but
does.
there's so many plays throughout the course of this year. And that's why, man, I thought this was going a completely different direction. I thought you were going to talk about SEC offense versus non-SEC offense. How many of those SEC games did we say, we're getting close? We're getting close. We just got to execute. The plays are there. And it's like, that's why I have a hard time blaming Joey Halsley. And as much as I love Alex Golish, and I get that argument, I think Joey Halsley's doing a good job, and I think guys are still open. You just got to execute. Go ahead. Coach A, tie a fat bow on it, and then we're going to make our predictions for you.
I was just making a really quick statement that I'll give two caveats for people making plays, and that's just Brazil and Thornton in the Bama game, and Nico. I mean, the quarterback's completing them. But, yeah, they made big plays right there. Those were the type of plays we were making with greater regularity in 22, And once again, it's hard to remember – I'm sure Keaton had plenty of drops in that year, but since he had so much wide receiver talent around him, what do you remember? You remember the layout versus Florida, right? And that's my only thing is I think circumstance has been a part of it. Like you brought up, Boogie, yeah, injuries play a part into that. All that plays a part into it. But no matter what, at the end of the day, injuries are not, that part has been lacking for the greater part of the season. But keep playing, keep getting healthy, keep getting better. I will fall back on I think you have to be blind to see Nico hasn't been getting better and better. And will that click at some point? Hell, I don't know. Will it click game 2 of next year? I don't know. Game 1 of next year? Will it click this Saturday and keep clicking onward into the bowl season or playoff season? Hard to tell, but to me, it's trending that way. But I'll leave it at that, and we can make our fun UTEP predictions.
Haystack, I don't think I did spit out the numbers on drops. I don't think drops were part of the stats that I ran off. And by the way, I don't buy into drops.
Yeah.
After a few weeks ago when me and Kaner went through drops and it was way lower than you expected, I don't know who's making that decision. It's like some drunk up in the stands deciding if it's an error or not. I don't think drops look as bad as the statistically don't look as bad as they actually are.
I will say, though, I don't know if any of y'all saw that clip. I mean, that stat rolling around that was going around Twitter the last couple of days. According to PFF grades, and there's another stat thing that Nico was 8th in the country among all quarterbacks with yardage accounted for drops. That,
and let me tell you something. That's
wow.
That's way lower than it should be, because PFF is where we got the drop numbers.
Yeah.
And they were so wrong. They were not even
Yeah.
close.
I
Not
think
even close.
realistically it'd be, in the top 3. So like I just it's all about playmakers making plays, and that's all living on the offense. And I just think it just hasn't been there this year. I mean, yes, I think a lot of it, I mentioned it earlier, is a little, a small percentage of the X's and O's. I just think we're not all the time putting our players in the best chance to succeed. And that goes a lot with X's and O's.
And that's why we rely. That's why this year we rely heavy on Dylan Sampson. He's
true.
He's literally been carrying this whole team this whole year, because, like I said, the inconsistency of the wide receivers dropping some of these passes, man. And that's why he needs help. That we saw the Sean Bishop flash a few times, but yeah, man, Dylan Sampson, he needs some help. But kudos to him. He's actually been the leader of this football team and carrying us through most of our games. So
I think the execution has hampered the play calling.
Yeah, well,
and
a lot of things.
When you are not consistent, and you cannot put together 4 quarters of football, it changes the game plan up. It changes how you can call the game offensively. Is that not right, Coach Rice?
No, that's exactly
right. You're chasing points. You're going to be throwing the ball. That's going to take you out of the run the game. It's all these things. Your quarterback's not clicking. Wide receivers aren't getting separation. They're dropping the ball. That's going to change. Bad protection.
Bad protection.
It's all these things, and I think it boils down to execution, and not just execution, but consistency of execution across a 60-minute game.
I'm gonna take a quick vote from the 4 of you all. Should I be a prick or not be a prick?
That was fun.
Should I be a prick? What do you say? Should I be a prick or not be a prick?
It's in my personality to be a prick.
I know. You're like the devil on my shoulder. X, should I be a prick or not be a prick?
I'd say not be a prick.
Oh God, it's gonna be split. Coach Jay, should I be a prick or not?
I would say you have to search your inner soul for the truth.
Dauber, should I be a prick or not be a prick?
What suits you the most?
Being a prick. Wood Duck, you can't spell Alex Golish and you can't spell Joey Halsley. You pop into my comment section every week after a loss. You're nowhere to be seen when Tennessee wins. You're nowhere to be seen, bro. You're never on this channel when Tennessee wins. When they lose, you pop in with your stupid opinions. So much to the point that I'm pretty sure you're an Alabama fan. Like, I truly believe that this idiot is an Alabama fan. So learn to spell Alex Golish. Learn to spell Joey Halsley. Then come back and talk to me, and you point the blame where it belongs. I'm sorry. That's Coach Rice's
fault.
That
laughing made me yawn.
That's Coach Rice's fault.
That laughing made me yawn.
That's Coach Rice's fault. I love everybody.
Coach Jay.
I love everybody, and I love their opinions.
I'll take one for the team.
When the only time you show up is after a loss, and I recognize your name because Tennessee lost, and you want to come in with your stupid opinions, and you can't spell the offensive coordinator's name, and you can't spell Alex Golish's name, then go ahead and stop watching, because it will save me the grief. Let me catch up on Super Chats real quick. We're giving away a shirt. You can donate $1. That's it. A 99-cent Super Chat enters you into the raffle. You also got to be a member of the channel. Timothy McGee for $5. Oh, I almost said her real name. Mrs. Coach J's yelling at Coach J. Boogie shouldn't have been a prick. Timothy McGee for $5 says, I believe I've been saying that same thing the past 15 months. Foul Ming for $5 says, at the end of the day, we beat Bama, and the team that also beat Bama, Vandy. What now? How can they be ahead? They'll find a way. They will find a way. They will find a way. All right, let's get into boys. We're up against it. We're an hour and a half into this thing. This is going to be short, sweet, and to the point. UTEP coming up on Saturday. It is a glorified scrimmage. It is senior day. Let's just do predictions. Let's just I'll kick things off. Dylan Sampson. That's the only thing I'm watching on Saturday, because he is the SEC's leading rusher. He's averaging 123 yards per game. He's got 1,230 rushing yards on 220 carries, 21 touchdowns. He needs 234 rushing yards in the next 2 weeks to break Travis Stevens' singles season record. 1,464 yards for Travis Stevens. Dylan Sampson's right up against it. And guess what? UTEP's rushing defense, pretty dang bad. They're really bad. 98th in the country, bad. Vanderbilt gives up 122. Surprisingly good, 36th in the country. But I think it's more important to rest D-Samp. But at the same time, I know that Coach Heupel wants to see him break this record. It's going to be interesting to me to see what they do with D-Samp. Bottom line is, UTEP's horrible. They're horrendous. They're awful. 59-3 Vols. That's my prediction. Dauber, go ahead, brother.
Man, I tell you what, I think you're right. I think Sampson's going to ball out. I think they will rein him in a little bit, but the thing that's going to show up for me is his defense. I think this defense is going to come out, and they're probably going to be a little pissed off with how that game in Athens went. Not very happy, especially considering how well they played all year. I've said this team has found a way to win that's different than 2022 when they had to score all these points. This team has relied on this defense. This defense has been elite. However, the game plan and the execution, the pressure from the defensive front, last weekend was minimal, if any. Beck finished the game with a clean uniform. He was able to pick us apart, and that's something going into the game that I really, really didn't think was going to happen. So I think those guys are going to come out a little bit of chip on their shoulder, a little bit of piss and vinegar in their veins, and they're going to pitch a shutout. I think Tennessee is going to roll offensively. Things are going to click. You're going to get guys involved. I think it's going to be 47-0.
I like it. Coach Jay, what do you got?
UTEP's pretty good. I don't know. No, I think we pull out a tight one in triple overtime. No. Yeah, this team's
God, if that happens, really burn the program.
No. Yeah, for sure. No, this team's not good, guys. They're not good in a bad conference. I'm going to go. Let's call it 58-0 Tennessee. Yeah, that's yeah.
I love it. Say nothing, just throw out a score because it does not matter. X, what do you got?
Short and sweet, right, Bug? All right. So, like you said earlier, give the ball to Dylan Sampson, unleash the cheetah. He's been our leading rusher this whole year. Let him go crazy. Like I said, as far as offense, our wide receivers, let everybody target everybody. Nico needs to target everybody. Everybody gets touches on the ball. Everybody go score. And then also too, let's get our secondary and our third unit in. Like I said, I want to see Jake Merlinger come in, throw a little bit. I want to see Gaston Moore come in, throw a little bit. And so my score prediction is going to be not Vols by 50, but Vols by 60. UTEP.
We call that X. We call that Vols by city. We call it
Vols by city. I love
Vols
it.
by
City.
Ron the Don for 10 says, awesome show, fellas. Loving the emotion and fight. We are in this. My eyes all teared up. I raised y'all right. My catfish is steamy and homemade tartar sauce is creamy. Let's go, Big Orange. Dude, do you know how good fried catfish?
Oh, man.
You see, I was on carnivore and then I flushed it because I got some of those Christmas tree cakes. And now I'm trying to get back on. It. And like, I've been a few days in it where I start feeling like my body just fuels off a carnivore diet. I feel great on it. I think carbs are like my enemy. When I'm off carbs, I feel great. And my daughter comes home and is like, Dad, you want this double doozy cookie from the company? I'm like, are you?
Yes.
No, I just turned around and walked out. I did good, boys. I did good. The good thing is that bourbon doesn't have carbs in it. Michelle, the queen, is here. Dropped a $20 super chat. That's the Orange Boy. Let's play the clip.
Rocky Top.
Don't forget, drop a super chat. $1, $500. You can be entered to win a shirt. And a Georgia fan just dropped $2 and said, I want the t-shirt, Boogie. SEC is just different. I kind of hope Aaron wins. I would love to send. I'm not telling you which. You don't get to pick which shirt. I'm going to send Aaron an FUGA shirt. I'm just going to rig it just so he gets an FUGA shirt. All right, Coach Rice, give us your prediction. We'll get out of here.
All right. Peyton Lewis, 200 yards rushing.
Ooh.
Dylan Sampson, 150 yards rushing. Nico for 250. Mike Matthews has 150 yards receiving.
Oh,
and defense balls out 77-3.
Ooh, hey.
77-3. I like
Ball
it.
by 70.
Not
Ball by
crazy.
70.
By the way, we still got about 300 people watching. We got pretty high tonight. I should have done this earlier, but I'll save the plugs and chills for later. Go check out the Talkin VAWLS merchandise, bonfire.com/store/Talkin VAWLS, all because Miss Coach J dropped a super chat. And I mentioned sending the Jays free merchandise. Now everybody gonna be like, Boogie, I need free merchandise. X gonna be like, Boogie, I need a XL in this, and then Dauber's gonna be like, Boogie, I need a XL in this. Coach Rice gonna be like, Boogie, I want that BW. Yeah, I just lost $250 tonight on this stream, so I need you all to go check out the merchandise, bonfire.com/store/Talkin VAWLS. That link is where, Coach Jay? Where's that link at?
You just hit the little more captions and then you go to Bonfire. That's the easy way, man. That's the Cliff Notes version of how you get to that store right there.
We can do this one of two ways, the easy way or the hard way. The easy way is to hit that description down below. Go get in where you fit in. Appreciate you guys. Love you guys. You want to support the channel, think about hitting that join button. Becoming a member of the channel, we appreciate you. We're not going to go live on Friday morning. Coach Jay's got a lot going on. I was like, bro, let's just take Friday morning off. It's UTEP. Nobody cares. But we'll be right back here for the tailgate show an hour before kickoff, immediately following the game as well. The coach is going to do the game day breakdown. We're going to post that Friday morning early, so tune in for that. They bring good information week in, week out. I don't care if it's UTEP, ETSU, App State, or Georgia. They bring the fire for those game day breakdowns, so make sure you guys tune in for that. But that is going to do it for Dauber, for Coach Jay, for Coach Rice, for the X Factor. My name's Boogie Bentley. This is the Talkin VAWLS Network. Go Big Orange.